For those of you who don't know what live blood cell microscopy is, we take a tiny droplet of blood from the fingertip. So this is a very, it's a viable tool with respect to an assessment of overall function, given that it's based on real science. Hematology, the study of the blood, blood morphology. So any changes that take place in the body, the blood is a good reflector of that. So we don't overreach here by trying to diagnose any specific type of disease or anything like that. We're simply saying, if you've got red blood cells that are smaller than the norm, and they don't have enough hemoglobin in them, it's an indication that maybe your iron might be low. If you've got red blood cells that are all stuck together, I know you can't see this from way back there where you are, but in the very center of this chart is an example of what ideal blood should look like. The red blood cells should be nicely separated. The plasma should be nice and clean. Any variation on that theme with respect to sticking, stacking, major clumping together of the red blood cells tells us something. The size of the cells, the condition of the cells. Are they nice and smooth? Are they pitted and damaged in some way? That's free radical damage. So we do have some real good benchmarks that we can look at and tell what's happening in the system. The remarkable thing about that is that if you can put a product like Asea into the system that works as quickly as it does and is working overall in all the cells of the body, the blood ought to be a good medium to reflect that. And we certainly didn't get a chance to see that this morning. Generally speaking, I'd like to show you the before and the after, but the young lady that we did this for, she took her DVD with her with the before, and when I looked at her blood, but I did write down what the findings were. I used a scale of 0 to 5 to determine how much of any particular thing I'm seeing in the blood, so I have those, and I can tell you that, you know, we're not cheating, and what you're going to see in the after is what it is. It's what we saw afterwards, and she was quite impressed with the fact that giving her some Asea over just about half an hour time period, there were some significant changes. So we can go ahead and roll that. I can show you what the changes were. Just to give you an update, initially when I looked at her, this is why I decided to do this with her, on rouleau, which is the sticking together of the cells, she scored a 4 out of 5. On target cells, which is missing hemoglobin, she scored a 4 out of 5.
With 5 being the most problematic?
I'm sorry?
With 5 being the most problematic?
Yes, exactly. I use a 0 to 5 scale. And so on issues with smaller than normal red blood cells, she scored a 3 out of 5. And damage to the cells, she scored a 3 out of 5. That would be free radical damage. And with respect to immunity, her white blood cells, which we're supposed to be able to see movement and activity from when things are functioning properly, real sluggish, nothing was going on. So this is the after. So all of those cells that you're seeing on the screen right now that are nicely separated like that you see, they were stuck together on a 4 out of 5 scale before I gave her the Asea. These are white blood cells that you're seeing in through here, and they became, the granular activity within them, the activity of the cells became much better. The cells that you're seeing on the screen look really great. That's how they're supposed to look in terms of being ideal. See that one? If you see one that looks like a bit of a donut, it's missing hemoglobin. That tells me there's a possible iron issue happening within the system. I really didn't anticipate that I'd see this much of a dramatic change with regards to that, because I thought that's something that would take more time for the body to react to. But I saw a high percentage of target cells, 4 out of 5 on the initial, and on the second one that we did, I hardly see any. One of the things that we know about Asea is that it will help with oxygenation, correct? Right? So if it's doing that good a job in allowing the cells to be able to transport oxygen, I think this would be reflective of that. No more stickiness, and this is a person that wasn't drinking sufficient amounts of water even. Dehydration can be an issue with respect to stickiness of the cells. The movement that we see is not a prerequisite. I don't have to see the cells moving in that way. The blood was just still in between the two pieces of glass that I had sandwiched in. But this, if I was looking at this for someone who first came in to see me, I couldn't find a lot of faults here. A little bit of stickiness of platelets and things of that nature. Maybe the fats and carbohydrates aren't being broken down properly. But aside from that, this is really a fairly good-looking sample compared to one that... I gave her 2 ounces, right? And yeah, you saw, I have a witness in the room, right? Yeah, you were there. So it was all stuck together, and that's the only thing that we did. She didn't do anything else. She took the Asea, came to the front of the room, and listened to you guys talk, and then she snuck out real quick, and I took another sample. And so that's all that's happened. Within that short space of time, we can see that there's a significant improvement. It's safe to say that previous to this, if she wasn't getting sufficient oxygen being distributed throughout her system, that when the sample is showing this representation, it's likely that the oxygenation has improved, the circulation has improved, and so that in of itself, if that's all that happened, would be quite significant.